Alright, what can you do? Can you make this shrine big enough? Flight makes it to where I can't block it. It's got to involve a glitters at some point. Ooh. There's the glitter. Oh, it's... Oh no! Yes! Whoo! That was scary. Okay, so let's go over this deck. We have Bloody Death Shadow. I'm going to go over the main part first, the reason people are all excited about Historic Anthologies 4, Death Shadow, and then I'll go to the other side because I want to point out a card that I don't see a lot of people playing in their Death Shadow decks right now. I think, while my version may not be the most optimal, I do think the creature that most people aren't playing in their list are actually the piece they're missing. I just might be playing some bad stuff on the middle pieces of the deck. But of course, Death Shadow, famous modern card. I've played it several tournaments. It gets -X/-X, where X is your life total. So basically, once you get your life total to 12, then you can cast this creature, and the lower your life total gets, the bigger Death Shadow gets. Going up to as big as a 12/12 if you're at 1 life. There are some scenarios where you can get it bigger than that, but they're very rare. We may test that out on this channel at some point. But for right now, just playing a straightforward aggro Death Shadow build. The rest of the way, just playing a bunch of 1-drop creatures. These are the ones I felt were the best. Dread Wanderer, Gutterbones, no surprise. They're cards that you can bring back out of the graveyard to help grind out a game. They're 2/1s for 1 mana. Not much else you can ask for. Knight of the Ebon Legion just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you go through the game. It's a 1-drop. It also leads to some tricks where if you have 3 mana up, you can swing with it. And then your opponent's left in the situation where, are you going to pump it or are you not? Stuff like that. Then the other 1-drop I put in, Foulmire Knight. I kind of like this because late game you can do the adventure side to draw a card and lose a life, which is relevant. And also just have a 1/1 Death Touch creature against other aggro builds and stuff like that to help gunk up the field. Also, it's pretty easy to just swing with this because most people aren't going to block it. After that, I've got a little bit of interaction, but with a deck like this, you want to be as aggressive as possible, so we're keeping the interaction to a minimum. I play Bloodchief's Thirst instead of Fatal Push because most of the time I'm going to be casting the card on my turn, and in that regard, Bloodchief's Thirst is just strictly better than Fatal Push in most situations. Plus, not playing any like Fabled Passages or Revolving Wilds or anything like that, so it makes Fatal Push significantly worse. Like, basically I'd have to rely on a creature dying, which is something I don't want to do anyway in order to make Fatal Push good, so that's why we're playing Bloodchief's Thirst instead. Plus it can hit those bigger planeswalkers and things like that. Thoughtseize, just, I mean, straight up one of the best spells you can be playing in Historic. Not much else can be said. Plus it also plays into Death Shadow quite well because you can lose 2 life, getting Death Shadow into play quicker. After that, Scourge of the Skyclaves, basically just extra copies of Death Shadow. This one actually, you can cast it earlier on your side, but it also matters your opponent's side as well. So basically, every life total below 20, the highest life total player is the stats of Scourge of the Skyclave. So if you have a player with 19 life, it's a 1/1. As you keep winning and you keep paying life, this creature gets bigger and bigger and bigger and gets out of control quickly. Going into the last major spell of the deck, Bloodsky Beserker, card out of Kaldheim. Definitely not getting enough attention. I will probably play a standard deck with this card in it at some point. This card has been amazing. So whenever you cast your second spell, so it's one of those type cards, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and they're +1/+1 counters, so they stay permanently. That's really one of the key things here. And also it gains menace, which makes it much harder to block for just 2 mana. So what you do is you play this turn 2, and then the next turn you play either another 2-drop or a 1-drop or some interaction or literally anything you want, and then you get a 3/3 with menace, and then the next turn you get a 5/5, and so on and so forth until it gets out of control. So you really have 4 creatures that continuously grow as the game goes on. Death Shadow, Scourge, Knight of the Ebon Legion, and Bloodsky all help finish the game very quickly. Dread Wanderer and Gutterbones help get you started early on. Going into the mana base, just 4 of each shock land just to help get Death Shadow and Scourge into play quicker. Castle Locthwain to draw cards and potentially make your Death Shadows bigger. And then Agadeem's Awakening, just extra ways to get your life total lower. But the spell side does actually come up because most of your creatures are actually 1-drops, so it makes it easier to get those out. Plus you have the 1-2 variety. You can, in certain situations, if you've gotten your companion, which is Lurrus, because we're able to play Lurrus because all of our creatures are 1 or 2 drops, you're able to get Lurrus, Scourge, and a 1-drop back, or something like that. So some combination of those. So with that, let's jump into the games. Let's do this. Death Shadow. Can make this work. Oh yeah, this has got two lands. This is great. Wish this was a 2-power creature, but I can take it. Let's go ahead and get Foulmire in there. Okay. This is just a 1/1, but I don't think there's that many decks that'll be able to gain life. And even if they do gain life and kill Scourge, I don't think it's the worst outcome. I just need to draw a land so I can go bloody into Ebon Legion. Yeah, especially with my opponent going with this, I think I'm fine. Okay. Do I actually want to go bloody here? I think so. I'll go Skyclave next turn. Oof. This could be really aggressive. Risen Reef, perfect. Okay. Oop, what? Oh, 2 or less. Yeah, okay. That's my fault. Yeah, so I should have left back to pump that, but that's my fault. Okay. Either way, this is fine. Now these things are huge. I was thinking this was 3. I forgot it was 2 or less. Either way, still a pretty busted game. Yeah, opponent can't handle this. Not killing the Scoot Swarm, but are gonna kill the tokens. That's gonna be too much. So that's 10 on its own, that's 12, then this little bit extra. Perfect. Okay, see if we can make Berserker work again. There we go. This isn't too great for the Shadow plan, but it does have Bloodsky in it, so that makes me want to play it. Okay, now it's better. Granted, it looks like I'm playing against a colorless deck. So, just about how fast I can win. Alright, Berserker seems good. So is my opponent playing Extinction Event? So what I feel like it comes down to is my opponent splashing black for Extinction Event? Otherwise, I think this is a pretty good setup. If I draw land, I have a really good pump for Bloodsky. Ugh, come on. Okay. So go Scourge, Foulmire Knight. That puts more counters on these Bloodskies. Oh, they're at 1. Come on. I got this. Okay, that's not promising. Alright, what are the chances? 11? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That doesn't matter. I just didn't want to see, well, alright. I guess it's not over. Okay. Woo! Alright. I just assumed there was going to be an Ugin. Okay, got lucky. I just assumed there'd be an Ugin there. There's always one, so that would have been the end. Alright, this is kind of fun. Got to find a way to get my opponent's life total down a little bit, but I do have 8 damage on myself, so at least the Death Shadow has a chance of coming out by turn 3. Need my opponent to do some damage to their self though. Oh, look at the little lizard. Okay. Double Thoughtseize is nice. Yeah, this is actually 10 damage to myself, not 8. Okay. That way it's a little less. So, ooh, angels. Okay. What can I deal with? I can deal with Soul Warden. I'm not too. Well, actually, no. Soul Warden's actually a problem. Yeah. Okay. Because it messes with my Scourge. Okay. So which one of those do I need to get rid of? I think this one. Yeah, this is just a 3/3 with Flyer, which I say just a 3/3. It's actually a problem, but I think that having my opponent gain more life is going to be worse. I just have to play around to settle the wreckage, but they also have to get to 4 mana. So, and also take a turn off from doing anything. So I think it's just going to be Vitality, assuming this card isn't anything relevant. Well, the question is, what is my opponent doing here? Like, you can't tell me you're conceding to a Thoughtseize. Fine. I hate that that's what you're doing, but... Alright, well this is gonna be a free win. Because this would have been a fun game. I hate that my opponent's either not able to play for some reason or just is choosing not to. Like, that animation made me think that they played with their pet. Alright. I hope it's just a connection issue and my opponent's able to work things out. If they're doing this just because of a turn 1 Thoughtseize, that's sad. Like, if you have a problem with a turn 1 card, it's very simple. You just concede every time you see it. If it's Ruin Crab, if it's, in my case, Witch's Oven. I hate Witch's Oven. Like, I will have a deck that is favored against Witch's Oven deck, but if I can't stop the Cauldron Familiar combo, I will concede to it just because it annoys me to no end. Because it just annoys me to no end to have to click through and click through and click through. I hate Witch's Oven Cauldron Familiar. But at the same time, I'm not gonna salt off to my opponent. So, like I said, hopefully it's just somebody having connection issue problems and they're able to fix it pretty quickly. I've definitely been in that position before. But if this is strictly a salt off thing, I am not a fan of this. Do the flip. There you go. There you go. This is my favorite thing. Oh, yay. Alright. Alright. Jank in the tank. That's good. Alright, just need to get really fast starts, and I think I can handle this. Alright. Cool. Okay, Prospector. So, Goblins. Scourge. Okay. So next turn I'll be able to go Scourge and Bloodchief so I can get this Prospector off the field, because the Prospector always leaves the door open for my opponent to go off. Well, there's another Prospector, so in that case I think Snoop is the take. Okay, so that takes them further away from Muxus. Okay. Alright, so I think they're just too far away from playing Muxus. Yeah, now the life total problem is my life, not theirs. That's it. Okay, now it's time. Now we're gonna hit with some big Death Shadows. Or Berserkers, either way. This has a lot of potential to it. Let's get Foulmire Knight in there. This will create some awkward situations for my opponent. I assume this is gonna be Spirit Dancer. No, Hushbringer. Okay. Huh. Am I up for this? Yeah, I kinda am. And I have an answer for that now. Let's get Berserker in there. Next turn I could go Scourge into Bloodchief's Thirst. But that's only if my opponent doesn't gain life, which they likely will. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so let's go Thirst here. Oh, Blessing. Oof. Okay. In that case, I guess I'm gonna go with all my 1-drops. Okay. I was thinking these decks were down just playing like 1 or 2 Spell Pierce and then using the creatures to protect. Okay. Alright, so now we've gotten rid of it. Now the question is, okay. Do they have another creature to recover? There's a Shram, so that's something. Play a Cartouche, then maybe they have a chance. Okay, Sentinel's Eyes, that's fine. Okay. Could play Awakening, and then that would be 2 spells cast for Berserker. Or swing both of these. I'm willing to trade here. Okay. And in that case, I'm just gonna let them go. I'll play Scourge. Pretty beefy creature there. Alright, what can you do? Can you make this Shram big enough? Flight makes it where I can't block it. It's got to involve a glitters at some. Ooh, there's the glitter. Oh, it's. Oh no! Yes! Whoo! All they needed was just one more enchantment, and that would have been it. Oh, that was terrifying. Okay, this is fine. Lead here. No, leading with Gutterbones. Ooh, Yorion. I feel really good about this with Yorion on the play. On the draw, this would be a much scarier game. Okay, Berserker for sure. Next turn I can go Scourge or Knights. I think it depends on if my opponent foretells a card. If they foretell, then I have to play around Doomscar. That being said, this is pretty good. So if they've got removal, they're gonna have to play it. Oh wow, okay. I think they're dead before they cast most of these. Like, I'm gonna take Binding. Alright, so I'm gonna do what does the most damage. So I'm gonna play double Knight. Yeah. Thank you for watching this Squirrel's Nest video. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up. If you want to be a part of a live stream, come hang out with me on Twitch. Check out the Streamloots page and feel free to throw those on me at the worst possible time. Any comments or ideas you would like to see in video, leave a message in the comments section in Discord or on Twitter. All links will be in the description below. Catch you squirrels later.